Thanks for the support as a channel member, Henry Cheese. Today we continue on my quest to prove that the Premier League top six are the best six club sides in the world, and the only way I think I can prove it is by us finishing sixth, but winning the Champions League by beating all of the best teams in Europe. Today, it's Real Madrid. Hello and welcome to Club 4, part 37 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our Champions League quarter-final second leg at home against Real Madrid. We are 2-1 up from the first leg. A 2-1 win that involved a red card for João Victor as well, but a very late goal from George in the 88th minute, giving us the win. I mean, I would have been very happy with the 1-1 away from home against Real Madrid when we were down to 10 men, but for George to step up and grab a winner so late was a huge result for us. So we've got the second leg of that game. Since you were last with me, we've continued to play well, including a 9-0 Premier League win against Southampton, which was just ridiculous. I mentioned in the last episode how João Victor is getting better and better all the time. He got a hat-trick in that game. He's done a little bit of a Mick Powell just lately. Still only 24 years old, now playing fairly regularly for Brazil. And if it hadn't been for that red card against Real Madrid, you'd be seeing a lot more of him today as well. But we were very, very good in that game against Southampton. But we also put 5 past Reading and we beat Birmingham. And the Premier League is looking like this. We're obviously not in with a chance of winning it. We're still 12 points behind top of the table Arsenal with only 5 games to go. It's not mathematically impossible yet, but it's incredibly unlikely. It's going to be between Arsenal, Chelsea and Man United, with that 4th place spot likely going to one of either us or Liverpool. Man City just starting to fall off the pace a little bit. So we need to make sure we keep our Premier League form going so we can get back into the Champions League through the league. But talking of the Champions League and my quest to show that the top 6 are the top 6 in the world, not just in the Premier League, if we do win this competition, and that is a big if, my word, what a route we're going to have to take. We've already knocked out Paris Saint-Germain. We've now got Real Madrid. If we make it past Real Madrid, waiting for us in the semi-final is going to be either Chelsea or Barcelona, and then a final against Bayern Munich, Juventus, Atletico or Man United. I mean, they are... I think you could call that the top 8 teams in Europe, and many of these are English. What, 1, 2... Okay, only 3 of them. That kind of disproves my theory a little bit, doesn't it? Forget my theory. Let's just win the Champions League. This is the team we're putting out there for the Real Madrid game. We are going with our positive mentality. We're at home and we beat them in the first leg. We've got to go out there and try and win. I am a little bit afraid. Gravenberch is coming back early from injury because of the suspension to João Victor, and hopefully we're not going to regret that decision. There is an argument to play Gibbs-White, who has had a little bit of a run in the team lately and has started to recapture some of his form from my first season here at Spurs. Assists and goals and just very, very, very good football from him. So there's an argument to put him in there and drop Rott back. But Gravenberch has been our best player all season. And I do feel like for a game like this, you want your best players on the pitch. Gravenberch is the best player. So he's going to start. He won't finish the game, but hopefully he can have a nice impact while he's on there. So the team is Francisco in goal, a back four of Philippe, Rodriguez, Banfalvi and Jair, Vermonti at the base of the midfield, Gravenberch and Vargas ahead of him, Rott then in behind George and Carlos up front. Wesley Fernando, albeit getting back into good form again, is now picked up an injury and is going to be out for a couple of weeks. But George is in such good form lately that it's not necessarily a massive loss. Carlos also slowly but surely starting to rediscover the form that made me consider him a super duper signing. I think that's what we declared him, a super duper signing. I think that injury has just sorted his head out because he's come back 5 goals from 4 games since he's been back, although he was a little bit missing for the Real Madrid game, and hopefully we won't have a repeat of that today. But let's get into this match. Let's cross everything and hope we don't throw the season away by letting Real Madrid back into this tie. They were a very good side in that first leg, and for those of you who've watched my Twitch streams over the years, you'll know how much of a fan of Farp I am up front. He was a Twitch hero back for LOLLUJO FC, I think, 2 or 3 FMs ago. But we don't want to undo the good work we did in that first leg. We just got to remind them that, we beat them at their place with 10 men for the last 25 minutes. And we actually got the winner when we were down to 10 men. If everything is equal going into this game, you would expect us to have the quality to get past Real Madrid, who are also on my shortlist of clubs I'd quite like to manage at the end of this Tottenham journey. So it's also a little bit of an extended job interview, which is what I'm also considering this cup run. Paris Saint-Germain, I'd go there. Real Madrid, I'd go there. Barcelona, I'd go there. Bayern Munich, Atletico, Juventus, I'd go to any of them. The only clubs I don't really want next are other English clubs. I think if I'm going to win the Premier League, it needed to be with Spurs this year. Oh, see, that's not what we wanted to see. We'll come back to England after we've gone and won some stuff somewhere else. We might even stay yet. I still don't know what I want to do. I still can't decide. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Should I stay at Spurs? Should I move on? That's a good goal for them, but it's a danger goal for us because it's now 2-2 on the night. 2-2 on aggregate, 1-0 to them on the night. We do still have the away goals advantage because we scored 2 at their place, but the last thing we wanted was for them to take the lead early on in this game because I'm very afraid now. We're still leading on aggregate. Don't let yourself. I'm going to assertively say we're still leading on aggregate. Don't mess it up, idiots. That's my team talk. If in doubt, always call your players idiots. That's a piece of advice I was given as a young boy, and I follow it through to this day, and that's why I'm such a successful manager. It's the key to leadership. Call your underlings idiots, and refer to them as underlings as well. They love it. Right. We are going to have to take Gravenberch off now because he has overstayed his welcome as far as his injury is concerned. So Gibbs White can come on for him and we can slot Rott back into that role. And then it's just a case of figuring out what else to do. Vargas not having a very nice time. Neither is Antonio Carlos again. I think I'm more inclined to take off Carlos and bring on Vance than I am to take off Vargas for Fotheringham. Because I think that weakens the team far more than Vance, who is... I think probably within the next year, Vance will be ahead of Carlos in the pecking order if their current trajectories continue. But Vargas has now picked up a yellow card as well. So I think that probably is my cue to bring Fotheringham on in midfield. He is a slightly more defensive option in there. Vance has now picked up an injury. That's not ideal. And now Real Madrid with the attack. With 5 minutes to go, this is where our Champions League dream ends. I can smell it. The ball's gone all the way back to their keeper. The game is glitching and stuttering and struggling because it knows we're about to lose. But we've won the ball back through Fotheringham. And it's Francis Vance. An injured Francis Vance is through and can't quite force it past the Real Madrid goalkeeper. A goal there. And he goes one step further towards becoming the new Harry Kane, the new Spurs homegrown hero, even though we paid £80 million for him. And... it wasn't to be, and now Real Madrid with a counter-attack of their own, and they have absolutely done Rott, I think it was, for pace there, but Jair showing that he's not just a pretty face, getting in there with a nice little tackle to nip that move in the bud, but it's Real Madrid in the ascendancy again, and it does feel like there's a goal coming, and that's a horrible feeling to have in this situation. Philippe plays it back to Rodriguez, just get the ball forward. That was the wrong pass. Oh, no, in the 88th minute. It's the same minute George scored in the first leg. Oh, it hurts every part of me. Oh, we'll go attacking. We'll demand. It was coming the whole game. The whole match that was coming. And... the Champions League dream is over, I think, unless we have some heroics still to come. But even if we do, we'd then have extra time for them to beat us again. They've beaten us once now. They'll go and beat us again in extra time if we manage to get a late wonder goal. Oh, this is hideous. They're in again. Francisco actually keeps hold of it this time, which is a bit of a novelty on his part, and rolls it out to Banfalvi. This is heartbreaking. Banfalvi plays it forward to Jair, he's just not been the same man this season. Francis Vance plays it back to Gibbs White. Right, this is actually turning into a decent looking move. Jair, can he do some Jair things? He's only won a penalty! Jair doing some late Jair things. We're going over to the little telly. If there's any justice in the world, we're about to get a penalty. That's what justice is. A penalty here would be justice. We deserve it. Oh, can we bring Harry Kane on to take it? We'll be bringing him on for extra time anyway if we get that 4th sub in the Champions League. Because Vance is injured. Right, who's this? George to take it, I think. George steps up. Fiddlesticks. Well, there was your moment and it went away. The hero of the first leg turns villain of the second leg with a 90-second minute penalty miss to consign us to not winning the Champions League. We've got a minute left. That's that. The way we decided to utilise that minute says it all about how life at Tottenham has been for the last 3 or 4 months. It's the wheels have come off, and I think it's time to freshen things up a little bit. And I still look at this squad of players that I've assembled and don't see how it could be better. So I think the only way to freshen it up is by moving me on. It just wasn't to be at Tottenham, and it's very sad. I'm going to be angry at them. We just need to make sure we get into the Champions League now. Leave this team in the same state we found them. 4 years on, all we'll have done is made sure we stay in the Champions League, hopefully, and freshened up an ageing squad with a squad full of wonder kids that whoever does come in next is going to reap the rewards of. We've got a lot of incredible young talent here. And if I don't manage to find a good job, I might even still reap the rewards yet. But I think if a big club comes in for me this summer, then I do go. What have we got job security-wise? This could just be the low point and the redemption arc's about to start. So we want to sort by... No, not finance. Job security, insecure. At really big clubs, this is what we're looking for. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's insecure at Man City. I don't want to move to a Premier League club. None of the real big super clubs are currently struggling for managers. I guess the thing would be if Liverpool or Man City sack their manager, if one of the big mega managers from a mega club leaves and it starts a little bit of a managerial merry-go-round that I can jump on. And we're going to have we've basically got a playoff on the last day as well. Oh, God. Oh, God. Ugh. I think we might jump forward to the last day, actually, because there's no point stringing this out. Let's jump forward to Man City on the last day of the season. Okay, maybe we're not going to make it as far as the Manchester City game. We drew 1-1 against Bournemouth in the next match, and now the board would like a meeting to discuss the performance. Oh, no. Hello, Ed Kelly, new man, who's not Daniel Levy, who I always got on really well with. Daniel not here anymore. Oh, my word, I don't even know what to say. We just weren't very good. We have had some bad luck with injuries, but I can't really blame it on that. The players just weren't good enough. I can only do so much as... Yeah. I think the fact that the likes of Carlos and Jair have regressed as players, you're the manager, I don't think blaming the players is acceptable. Ultimately, this is your side, so you have to take... It's like reading the comments. I accept that isn't an excuse. I promise the result in the next match will make up for it. My job is to send the team out to do all they can do. They made a lot of individual mistakes. Yeah, let's try that then. We look forward to the result, but fail to impress us and we'll have no choice but to relieve you of your duties. So, effectively, I've got to win this next match or I'm going to get sacked. Is that what they're saying? Which is against Barnsley. I'm going to get sacked against the club I left to come here, aren't I? I'm starting to feel like I probably should have blamed injuries because we are suffering a little bit. Gravenberch only just back. But now we've got Carter still recovering from injury. Vance still recovering from injury. George is now injured. Philippe's injured. Fernando's injured. Marcos just returning from injury. There are a lot of injuries. But now we're going to face the music. It's Francisco in goal. A back four of Sessegnon, Rodriguez, Banfalvi and Jair. Vermonti at the base of the midfield. Gravenberch and Vargas ahead of him. Rott behind. Rosso and Carlos up front. Possibly for the final time. Part of me thinks if I survive this, I might want to stay just to prove everybody wrong. I can't get fired. See, how can I get fired for poor form? The recent form standings have Barnsley in 5th place while we're 1st. We are the form team in the Premier League, but I could get sacked for it. Oh, there's no justice in the world. Come on, lads. Let's at least book our Champions League spot or get a little bit closer to doing it. This is getting troublesome. Who do we recognise in the Barnsley team? Still a lot of my lads still at Barnsley. I wonder if they need a new manager. I might go back there with my tail between my legs 4 years on and go and hang out with Goodger again. Jair plays it back to Vargas. Vargas shoots from range. Carlos hits the post. I think he was offside as well. So double stupid from Carlos there, which we've come to expect. I don't even think he's broken double figures for goals this year, but he's done some double stupid in this match. So goody for him. Jair now with the throw. Finds Carlos again. Carlos, I'm taking that number 10 shirt off of him in the summer. But if I'm still here, I just remembered I'm getting sacked today. He needs that shirt taken off him. He doesn't deserve it. Sessegnon with the cross. Jair doing some Jair things. He's the man who's going to save me my job. A 4th goal of the season for Jair. It's a header from the edge of the area because that man can do everything. He just hasn't done everything often enough this year, but he's done well here. Our two fullbacks linking up with each other. And I've got a phone call. I guess that's the board trying to sack me. Thankfully, it wasn't the sack. It was it was my good lady, poor old Anna, who works in a supermarket, and she's on her break, and she was just ringing me to vent because people are being numbnuts. Stop being numbnutses, people. My word, she can't sell you 3 loaves of bread. That's just the rules now. Ugh. Right. Let's continue with me trying not to get... I probably just got her sacked by saying that, so we may as well both get sacked in one fell swoop. Don't get complacent out there. My job is on the line. Rosso not working out, is he? He's in today because he was so good for Real Betis. Real Madrid offered me so much money for him, and then I've just not used him, favouring Carlos, even though he's not been in form. Even today, I'm not playing Vance. I don't learn, do I? Rott plays it back to Vermonti. Gravenberch now, trying to get something going in midfield. Plays it back to Vermonti. Out to Jair. Let's have some more Jair things. It might be the last time we ever see Jair things. I never did get to sell those shirts. Think of the money I could have made. I thought I was going to be here for years. But now, no Jair things shirt. Unless we managed it when we were still in a Champions League spot. That's the absurd thing about this situation. I could get sacked whilst being on course for qualifying for the Champions League. Right, Carlos has been rubbish. And Vargas can come off and Carter can get some game time. I wonder if bringing Harry Kane back's been the problem. Perhaps he's undermining me. Does he like me? Because he was a problem when he was here before. He thinks he's big. Oh, he likes me. He thinks he's bigger than the club, though. He tends to sign under 24 players. See, look, he's already ready to become... I bet he's... Is he a manager? Oh, look. This is why I'm getting fired. Harry Kane, next Spurs manager. It's written in the stars. We're not bringing him on. He's what was the name of the turncoat guy from a few years ago? I can't remember his name. Mr. Two-Faced, something like that. The historians will remind me. Harry Kane's the new one of him. Rott, very nearly make. I mean, we do need that second goal. Barnsley haven't been in it today at all. For a team that are the 5th most informed team in the Premier League, we've made them look very ordinary, playing very well again, which we are doing more often than not at the moment. It's just we had 2 bad games in a row, the Real Madrid game and then that Bournemouth game that we were ahead. We were 1-0 up for the whole game, and then in like the 85th minute conceded an equaliser. And it just feels like it's happening again. Here it comes, and it's going to be someone I signed, guarantee it. There's Dean, and it hits the crossbar. And hopefully that was their chance to get me fired. Marius Hegley's now on the pitch. We're going to bring Harry Kane on as well, and hope that if he really is a Kev fan, go out there and win me the game. But Hegley is on, one of our channel members, playing on the right-hand side of midfield for Barnsley. How different might the world have been if I'd have signed him? He'll be the man who scores the goal. I'm cancelling his channel membership. If he scores the goal that gets me fired, I don't want his money anymore. He's done. Oh, Kev versus Marius Hegley. That's the story of the episode. But it looks like Kev might just about survive. I don't know why I'm referring to myself in the third person, but we have managed to pick up a victory. We didn't, I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but hopefully is enough to save my job. The board are delighted to inform you that following the promise you made to them, they are now satisfied you've done your utmost to keep it. The board asked you for a result and we're delighted you deliver it. As a result of the improvements you've made as manager, the board have cancelled plans to relieve you of your role at the club. Going forward, the board hope you won't give them reason to regret their decision. Ooh, my goodness. We're still on an E on manager performance. I still think there's a very good chance I'm getting fired in the summer. But at least I should make it to the summer now. Sort by job status. I am still very insecure. So's Vincenzo Montella at FC Bayern Munich. That would be a job I would take. I would absolutely go to Bayern Munich. I'd go to Posh, to be honest. That would be fun. Go and manage Posh. But Bayern Munich would be a nice switch if the opportunity presents itself, even though you'll get grumpy when I say it wrong. Right, the fixtures seem to have rearranged themselves inexplicably, so we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do Man City and Brighton. We'll see if I save my job, and if I do, we'll then work out what happens when summer comes. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.